Welcome back, this is Board Game Officer. So today we're going to go through an 18 hex game called Q Memory. So 18 hex games has a handful of games that take 18 hex tiles to create a super fun and interesting game. So Q Memory is what we're going to go over today. So Q Memory is a 1 to 6 player game. Now there are 4 different actual setups you could do for the game, but we'll kind of talk about those later. Those are the difficulty games. What we're going to do is the basic right off the bat. So the first thing that you do is you're going to get 6 tiles, and you want to make sure you have 2 tiles with the same background color, but different core tiles. You want 3 separate ones. We got red, orange, and green here. What you're going to do is you're going to flip them over. You're going to mix them up, and then you are going to create a quantum circle is what they call it, which is basically just a hexagon. So once you have created your quantum circle, what you're going to do is you're going to do one by one, you're going to flip over the tiles. So the first, you're going to flip one over, and then the second one. What you're looking for is you want to see whether the background color or the core color match. If one of them matches, this one does, that means we have started the quantum link. Now what we have to do is, because this one was first, this one was second, now we have to flip over another one. Since the background color matches here, we need to match the core on this next one that we flip over. So we flip over, since the cores match, the quantum link continues. Because that was the core, now we need to match the background color with the next one. So I flip this over. Since these backgrounds do not match, the quantum link is broken and we have to start all over. Everything is flipped over and we start again. This is where that memory game comes in. Now you got to remember which one's where. So we started here, here, which is fine, right? That cores match. So this is still a valid start to the quantum link. Now we need to match the background color, which I remember the red one's there. Now we need to match the core color again, which we did not. Right? So you're going to go through every time it's broken, you flip them back over. If you're playing single player, your goal is to finish the quantum link in as little amount of tries as possible. If you're playing multiplayer, every time the quantum link is broken, you pass on to the next person, that's the next person's turn. And then the one who actually finished the whole quantum link wins. So now we're going to go over the different game modes. So that first one that we went over was the basic mode. The next one is the advanced mode, where you're going to have twice as many colors. So as you see here, for basic, we had 3. Now we're adding 3 more colors, and you're going to set up in a different way. You're going to set it up in this way here. So here we have the advanced mode set up. We play the exact same way. We just got twice as many colors, so there's going to take twice as long, right? Try to figure this out. Flipping one over, then the next. Cores match, so then we go on and try to find the orange one now. We didn't find the orange. The link is broken. Start over, the next person's turn, and then you go on. So the next mode is called the master mode. So what we're going to do is we're going to have all 6 colors again, but we're going to have 2 separate circles. So here you have these 2 separate circles. So here's just an example of all of them flipped over. If you notice, each circle has the same colors. The point of this is you have to go each circle one at a time. So you flip over one from this circle, then you flip another over from this circle. Right? Same thing, you need a background or the core to match. However, because now that we have multiples of the same color and core, if you get the exact same tile, that also counts as breaking the link. All it is, we're adding in it, but there's same colors, so you have that a little bit more difficulty there. The last one is the insane mode. Now the insane mode has all 3 of those colors along with the other 3 colors. Here we have the insane setup. As you can see, we've got a smaller quantum circle inside a bigger quantum circle. Once again, we play the exact same way. You're just flipping over one at a time, trying to match the centers, then trying to match the background. Doesn't do it, flip it over. Now, once again with this, because we have all colors in there and there are 2 of the exact same tile, if you match the core and the background color, that counts as breaking the link. Now, a couple ways to make even these games even harder is, as soon as you break the link, so right, we got cores there, broke the link with this third one. So then we're going to take these 2 and we're going to switch them when we flip them back over. And that's going to happen every time you break the link. So every time, everything's shifting a little bit. Right? And you can do that on the basic level. You can do that on the advanced, master, insane, any of them. You can do that just to add a little bit more difficulty there. The next variant is battling, meaning you're going to take 2 of every color and you're going to shuffle them up. You're going to deal them out to each player. Depending on however many players there are, you can set them up in front of you however you like. You just have to control your tiles, but one person does it at a time. So I'll flip one over, then you will flip one over, and then he will flip one over, and then I will flip one over, right? As we're still trying to make that quantum link, right? So a little bit more difficult, trying to know what we have, what they have, trying to match that all together. And the one more thing is to make it easier is to have them all flipped over before you flip them on the other side. You can look at here, you could set a time for 10 seconds, 15 seconds, a minute if you want. And then you flip them over and then you begin. Right, so if you're having a little bit of a hard time, you can have a little time to study where all the pieces are before you actually begin. So let's go ahead. I'm going to run through just a basic level real quick. I'll probably fast forward through it a little bit. Right, not a very fun game to watch, but super fun little puzzle that you have to kind of figure out. So I'm just going to go ahead and play just a basic game real quick. There you go. As you can see, that took me like 5 times, and this is just a small one. So that is just a really quick playthrough, right? Every game plays the same, just depends on how many tiles you have that you have to remember where they're at and everything. Fun little quick game for all ages, right? Super fun little memory game. You can make it a quick review of what I think of this game. So as I said, it's a memory game. If you love memory games, I think this one kind of steps it up a notch, right? Rather than just your normal little kid flip it over, right? It really adds a lot more strategy because you're trying to create that pattern. You're trying to create that quantum link with them all. So it really makes your wheels start to turn. I did enjoy it. I'm not a lover of memory games, so because my memory's horrible. But even at that, I still had quite fun with this game because of that little puzzle of having to jump back and forth. So it's not just remember where 2 are at, but remember where they're all at. Something that a little bit difficult with this game is that it's not a lot, right? It's just a pure memory game. I don't think you do too much more with this game in general, but because it's a memory game, right? If you're not a big fan of memory games, might not be a big fan of this game. But if you're any sort of fan of memory games, I think this will just make it even better because I really liked how it built upon the normal memory games. Another thing that I really like about it, that's the box. Super small, super easy to take, super quick game. I think that has a lot of value in and of itself. If you like memory games, this is an absolute win. If you're not a big fan of memory games, I don't know if it's going to tilt you over to that side. And thanks for joining.